into the range. He was gasping for air.
Very deliberate shooting from Poirier. No panic on his part as yet. 5 out of 5. Very steady. He's lost 4 or 5 seconds, Mike, but he's kept himself in the running. He's going to move up and join that group of Norwegians who are all on the penalty loop at the moment. Really, you would expect nothing less from Poirier, but that was very sensible tactics.
It was indeed, and Poirier is the master of this race. It's not all about the charge to the first shoot. It's about 12.5 kilometers and maintaining that focus on the range throughout 4 visits to the shooting.
Nielsen with 1 miss has lost himself some time. Alexander Wolf, Nikolai Kruglov, the talented young Russian, has gone clear, along with Danny Graf, who's having an outstanding run. Got his personal best 2 days ago, and it looks as though he has a chance of bettering that. Watch his position as he comes out of the shooting. Now, Mike, Vladimir Drachev's a man who nearly always makes ground in the pursuit, but he's made an early mistake with the shooting. Another one has missed from Drachev. I don't think we're going to see him challenge at the end of the day. Sergei Chepkov also going nicely for the Russian team.
Well, we can't see it in our picture right now, but the flags, the wind flags down the lanes 15 to lanes 30, they're blowing much harder, and I think that tripped up Drachev.
Well, here's the front all change with Sven Fischer dropping down into second. Just can't match that ski speed set by Ole-Einar Bjorndalen, but of the two, Fischer is the most reliable shot, so I wouldn't put too much money on Bjorndalen holding the lead through the next shoot. Coming up in third, another of the Norwegians. It looks like Egil Kjelland to me. There we go. In fact, it's Berger who's made a huge amount of ground. What a ski from Berger. And then Raphael Poirier, who took that steady shoot. He's moved from his start position of 6th. He's up into 4th, ahead of Kjelland. There goes Kjelland. Should have known from the bare hands. Looking a little bit laboured.
That's my impression of Sven Fischer as well, looking just a little bit tired.
So the first shoot completed here in Oberhof, and it's Ole-Einar Bjorndalen who leads the way for Norway. Welcome back to Oberhof, the scene as we approach the 4.4 kilometre stage in this men's pursuit. And it's Ole-Einar Bjorndalen who's gone through in first place. Fischer, Berger the next 2. And coming through now, Lars Berger. Well, he fits into that classic Norwegian biathlete model of brilliant on the skis, not quite so reliable with the rifle. On his tail, Raphael Poirier, the World Cup leader, and then Egil Kjelland coming in 5th. I wouldn't rule Egil Kjelland out of winning this one because he's very, very steady. He got his first win in Östersund in the pursuit event, so I think that will have boosted his confidence and he'll start to believe in himself, because the pursuit and the mass start by far and away the hardest races to win.
They are indeed. The pressure here where everybody's pushing hard side by side, it's another element. It's almost like a relay but without the spare rounds. Look how much Bjorndalen is in just 2.5 kilometres he's taken out of Sven Fischer.
Well, he's taken about 100 metres, so he can probably afford 1 miss over Fischer and still catch the German on the next loop, should it turn out like that. But really, Bjorndalen has to hit 4 out of 5, more than two misses, and he's going to be struggling once again. But he looks very comfortable on the skis. Remember, he does tend to start the races fast. He doesn't keep much in reserve. That was an error, I think, in the sprint event 2 days ago. Fischer, of course, started steady, got faster and faster as the race went on, and that in the end proved to be the better tactics. So what can Bjorndalen do here? He went clear on the first prone, but last season he very seldom cleared 10 out of 10 prone shots. Let's hope he's not thinking about that right now.
The wind this time is blowing from behind him, so it could press the bullets down low. Maybe that's what's happened here for Bjorndalen.
Needs this one. And it goes down, so 4 out of 5. The race is open once again, but Fischer has to clear the 5 if he wants to get on terms. Well, that is how to do it. He's cleared all 5, the crowd loving that, and I think Fisher's going to be back in pole position. 2 mistakes from Berger could prove very, very expensive. He's got an extra 300 metres to ski. Bjorn Dahlen, remember, on the penalty loop for 1 round, and he's going to come out 20 metres down on Fisher. He must have been hoping he'd see Fisher take that right-hand turn onto the loop, but it hasn't happened. Fisher's gone out in first. Bjorn Dahlen 4 seconds down. Poiré goes out with his first mistake. Hjelland keeping it clean this time. Oh, down goes number 5. He will join the top 3. He'll be just behind, in fact, he may come out just in front of Berger, who's still on the loop as we speak.
Oh, look at Wolf, moved up from 14th, and he must place himself now, what, 4th, 5th place?
Well, he's probably the fastest so far. Started 1:25 behind Fisher, so watch out for Wolf's time as he comes through the split gun. He's going to be in 5th or 6th position. There he is in 6th. 44. He's taken almost a minute out of Sven Fisher already. We're only at the halfway stage of this pursuit. Bjorn Dahlen closed that gap, Mike, incredibly quickly. It was 4 seconds. He's got it down to about 4 metres already.
Now, that's because the big, long downhill section, I don't think Sven Fisher's skis today are the best.
Look how wide Bjorn Dahlen's moved. He doesn't want Fisher nipping in behind him. He's gone right over to that left-hand side of the track.
Now, Sven, in his mind, will be saying, I have got to stay behind Bjorn Dahlen. Doesn't even look like he's making an attempt to, so the pace is just too much for him. He's happy to stay at his own pace today.
Bjorn Dahlen does look so smooth, doesn't he? But if you're a Norwegian fan, I think you've got to cross your fingers and toes, because, well, I just don't see how he keeps this going.
Bjorn Dahlen did fatigue. He did tie up massively in the final 2.5 kilometres. Sorry, 3.3 in the 10-kilometre sprint. Will the same happen today? Sven just doesn't have the fight at the moment, but did come through to have the fastest round from a slow, relatively slow start 2 days ago. This is great technique. Poised, balanced.
I tell you what I like is the way that he puts the recovery ski, when he picks it up, he drives it down and forwards. He's obviously trying to lift it up and put it as high up the hill as possible, but not only that, he's accelerating the foot forwards as he does so, which reduces the friction between the ski and the snow, and he'll gain, it may only be a centimetre, but each stride he's gaining that precious centimetre. That's why he's pulling away from the likes of Sven Fisher. Here are the chasing group that still contains another 3 Norwegians. Alexander Wolf of Germany is in there as well. He'll be looking for another top result. Rico Gross, Mike, has got himself into 7th place. He started in 18th. Rico's, we haven't seen the best of him so far this year. The best he's had was 6th place, I think, in Oslo Pursuit there. But he's only won 8 World Cups, or 8 races in his career. 3 of those are titles, World Championships. That really shows that he's the master of peaking at a certain stage of the season.
Well, he is indeed. Rico Gross, in fact, I think he has won the most medals in biathlon ever at major competitions. It's Olympic medals, 8 Olympic medals.
Matti Nilsson of Sweden dropping down through the group already. They're starting to lap some of the later starters. Sergei Konovalov there just being blown away as Bjorn Dahlen goes through. Fisher has upped the work rate right now, trying to get back on terms, trying to accelerate down the hill. But look at the gap that Bjorn Dahlen has opened up in that stretch of 150 metres of flat and slightly downhill. The Norwegian technicians have done their job again.
Now, what must be going through Sven Fisher's mind now is that no matter how well he shoots, Bjorn Dahlen, even with missing 1 shot each time, can pull that 22 seconds back. That's a depressing thought for Sven Fisher. But he seems to be fighting, upped his pace just a little bit more now. And I think Bjorn Dahlen will be tiring as Sven Fisher is just picking up the pace.
Well, Poiré still dangerous. Finished outside the top 5 for the first time on Friday. He'll want to put that right today with a win. and he's in fourth place, 38 seconds down. He's only 1.5 shots effectively off the lead, and with the standing shoots to come, still 10 standing targets to be hit. It would be a brave man to bet against the likes of Raphael.
It certainly would. Very entertaining watching Lars Berger leading that previous group of 4, because they really are struggling to stay with them.
Rico Gross digging deep, working hard, enjoying no doubt the occasion here. So the men's sprint at Obерhöf was a cracking race, this turning out to be probably the most exciting pursuit of the season so far. We're through the halfway stage now, both prone shoots completed, the 2 standing shoots still to come, and it is Norway in the form of Ole Einar Bjorndalen leading Sven Fischer into the range, but the leading group really all about Norway and Germany, with one Frenchman thrown in there for good measure, and that of course is Raphael Poré. They're wearing the yellow bib, still the World Cup leader. And Mike, I did a few quick calculations while we were trying to get the microphones working, and from what I can see, if we employed the alpine or the cross-country form of scoring, Sven Fischer would actually have the lead. He'd have 554 points, and Poré would be on 550. As it is at the moment, there's a good 42 points between them, with Poré wearing the yellow bib. Fischer some way behind. Now, third shoot. Bjorndalen needs 4. Oh. A real chance now for Sven Fischer. Look at those lungs working.
Oh, Bjorndalen is holding a long time. Look at his breathing, it's fast. He just overheld it there.
He's in trouble. 4 misses for Bjorndalen. That is extraordinary. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. 1 miss from Fischer, so he's on the loop, but he's only got 1 penalty to do. He is going to come out in first position, unless, of course, Poré can clear the 5.
You just feel Poré is going to do this. He's going to move forward. He loves the pursuit races. Oh,
even he's starting to freeze. We've seen it before, and it was on this very range 11 months ago. But he's made sure of it. Down it's gone, and he will come out at roughly the same time as Sven Fischer. There won't be any significant margin between them. Egil Kjelland has a chance to join the top 3 if he can clear this last target. 4 out of 4 so far for the Norwegian. Oh, he's missed that number 5. Crucial miss for Kjelland, and he has let Fischer and Poré get away. Well, Bjorndalen still on the loop. 4 penalties to ski, 600 metres. He's not going to make that margin back in 1 lap, but I dare say we could see him recover into the top 3 at some stage. Bilinenko 1 miss, Gross 1 miss, Austria 1 miss. The conditions getting difficult, the wind blowing left to right at the moment.
Now, how can the young Swede Nilsson, only 22 years old, and he did have the 2nd fastest time in the relay, and 7th in the 10 kilometre, 8th in fact.
Now Kjelland, the best Norwegian, going out, 44 down. Berger 51, Bjorndalen 53. Norwegians, remember, starting right at the top of the order in this pursuit event, but being outclassed in the range yet again. I do think it's that same old business, Mike, of them getting too competitive on the snow. They love to record the faster ski time. They get as much pleasure out of that as they do out of winning the race. And the likes of Fischer and Poré are thinking tactically all the time, controlling themselves when they have to ensure that they get a better result on the range. And that's what this game is all about.
It's about control, and that's where in the first 2 loops this man, Sven Fischer, looked to be going at a training pace in relation to the fast Norwegians. But it's paid off, because the Norwegians have really goofed up on the range. Bjorndalen has missed a total of 5. Lars Berger has missed a total of 6. That's huge punishment. 150 metres for each one of those shots missed.
Well, how Raphael Poiré would like to win this one. Remember, he lost the pursuit here. It was the only individual race he didn't win at the World Championships last year, because on that very last shoot he completely froze and he let Rico Gross come through. It looks as though Poiré is going to be the first into the range. Fischer starting to tire. He was so strong at the beginning of the season.
Look at Alexander Wolf though, 14th all the way up to 3rd and only 32 seconds. Wolf could still win this race. The tiring Norwegians coming through. You do feel depressed when you've been on that penalty loop 5 times for Lars Berger, number 5 here.
They are all starting to suffer now. That fluency of Ole Einar Bjorndalen just beginning to desert him, 51 seconds behind. And then just to add to their pain, Rico Gross coming up behind, started 18th, he's into 7th, and he's right on the heels of those Norwegians that he started a minute 20 behind. He must be feeling fantastic.
But you know, the man with the most belief in himself, the fearless biathlete Poiré, always a danger. I don't think he'll be happy to stay behind Fischer. He'll lead this thing in. He's brave enough to lead it in to the final shoot.
And I think he'll take it up that last, well, this coming hill, which will then give him a slight lead. So he may come in with 20-30 metres to spare over Sven Fischer. He's no quicker on the downhill sections, but he is seemingly lighter and faster on the uphill. There's Frank Ulrich. He must be enjoying this occasion, but I think he'll be a little nervous. Look at this. They've taken a full loop out of the likes of Ludwig Gredler there. Number 39 is Oleg Rishenkov of Belarus, who's being overtaken as well, as is his teammate Ruslan Valiulin. Poiré getting as much rest as possible while he can, and now he'll start to turn the speed on. Well, that's our prediction. We'll wait and see where it happens. He's got to pick his moment.
You just get the feeling that Raphael wants to come into the range first. It's psychological. It's a brave man normally who leads it in, but we know Raphael loves to lead this thing in. He is fearless.
I think he may well be thinking, well, if I stick behind Sven Fischer, we may find that Fischer works too hard for his shooting. So one shoot to go in the men's pursuit in Oberhöf, and it's been all changed. Sven Fischer started first and he still has the lead, but all those who've tried to overtake him have been blown away. The likes of Bjorndalen, Hjelland and Berger all suffering, now almost 40 seconds behind. The real man putting the pressure on Germany's number 1 is of course Raphael Poiré. And he's got another 500 metres to decide exactly what his tactics are. Well, so far, hasn't gone ahead. Well,
I know what's happening. I've just looked at the wind again, Patrick, and I think that Poiré may well today, for the first time, be happy to stay to the left of Sven Fischer, because Sven Fischer's body mass will be shading the wind from the right. So Poiré is thinking about this and thinking, well, I can pick up some extra shading from the wind if I stand to the left of Sven Fischer when you're on the range.
Well, it may not pay off, Mike, because 10 minutes ago the wind was blowing left to right. We've just had a spell of it blowing right to left. Who knows what it's going to be doing when they actually settle for that final shoot. But you may be absolutely right in Poiré's thinking.
He was looking there over to the range, just checking where the wind is from now. That's why Poiré is great. He thinks about what he's going to do all the time. He has a strategy, but then if the conditions dictate it, he will change his strategy. For the first time ever, he's happy not to go into the range in first place.
I think he is on absolute cruise mode here. This is like a training run for Poiré. When you drop down off that maximum F, you only have to go 2 or 3% before you feel very comfortable. Your recovery is that much quicker, and your chances of hitting the target's that much higher. Very, very intelligent stuff from Poiré. But should they come out together, Mike, you think the Frenchman's got the edge?
I do indeed. He is on ski form, faster than Sven Fischer today.
Well, here we go. Last shoot in the stand position. Fischer nearest the camera. Poiré on the far side, settling first. Both men wanting to make sure. advantage Germany.
The Norwegians are coming in.
There's a miss from Fischer, the pressure getting to him as well. Oh, Poiret's last target goes down. Fischer must get this to stay in the race, and he's missed it. He has thrown it wide, and there is a chance for Berger, Wolf and Hjelland. If any of these go clear, then they'll be up with Poiret, who is still on that loop. Berger's chance has gone. Wolf is still in it. Hjelland and Bjorndalen settling. 3 misses. Berger knew it had to be quick. He took the risk, has paid the price. Is Bjorndalen's come back in now? Oh, no, he's not. Poiret halfway round the loop. He'll be going out in about 5 or 6 seconds.
Hjelland is really taking his time, but when you take this much time, you lose your advantage.
Could be worth a top 3. Well, no one clear so far. Fascinating encounter. Even Rico Gross, the best shot on the tour for the last 2 seasons, he has made a mistake on the last shoot and goes out with 1 penalty to pay. But look at that situation. Poiret now 20 seconds in the lead. The race is in the bag as far as the Frenchman is concerned, and he's got oodles of energy left, having just cruised round that penultimate lap, pacing Fischer. The tactics in the end, Mike, paying off, but there must have been a moment where he thought he'd made a mistake.
Well, it did appear that way. When he was first to miss, you then tighten up, you feel the pressure, but you saw him take a little break. He stepped back from the pressure, regained his thoughts, and the master of biathlon, Poiret. Look at Alexander Wolf. This is his best day for many, many years.
Well, has he gone too early? He has exerted so much energy there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him tying up before the top of the hill. Fischer looking tired, but what a run of races he's had. He's already recorded 4 wins this season. It's not going to be his today, but what neither of these Germans know is that they've got a big man chasing them. Ole Einar Bjorndalen, 26 metres behind. Has he got enough in the tank to overtake them?
I think he has. He will. I think Wolf, the tactics he took, going wide round there, used a lot of energy. He knew that Bjorndalen was only 5 seconds behind him, but this man will be hunting both them down.
A lot of phlegm on the mouth of Bjorndalen, which we've seen in the past. Not always a good sign.
Not always, no. He's working hard, but I really believe that Bjorndalen can catch both these Germans and take 3rd place. 2nd place even, sorry.
1.6 kilometres to go, 1,600 metres, and Bjorndalen has got to close down 20 metres. I think with the ski speed that the Norwegians have developed, the advantage that they had at the start of the race is gone because the skis are getting dirtier, but I think they'll still be that fraction quicker, which could mean they enter the last final climb absolutely side by side.
Look at Alexander Wolf. Very rarely do you see biathletes looking over their shoulder, but this man is worried. He's burnt all his energy, I think.
It was a bad move. It was a very bad move.
Oh, it's a good day for Germany. There's Mickey Grice coming through, Rico Gross. They've done well. They've moved a long way up, especially Mickey Grice. From 22nd all the way to 7th.
Egil Hjelland starting to look a little tired, and Lars Berger likewise. Now here goes Poiret, sets the edge. Absolutely superb stuff. Well, he's done enough alpine skiing in his day to be confident on corners such as these, but it's the tired legs of Fischer and Wolf that may suffer. See what the tactics are. Will they put the snowplow on just to control the speed? That would give Bjorndalen an advantage. This is where we think that the Norwegian is going to make ground on the 2 Germans. Nice turn by Fischer. Wolf looks anxious. Fischer nearly goes over, but they both get round safely in the end. Now Bjorndalen, 25 metres, but it's the outrun that could make all the difference.
Look at the glide from Bjorndalen. He goes all the way around the corner. Lots of the other biathletes are standing tall, using the poles, but Bjorndalen's holding his low tuck position. Hjelland, he waited so long for his final shot and missed it.
Gets round safely, but Mike, no one really attacking. We haven't seen anyone putting in a fast skating turn. Now Poiré turns it up just to impress the crowd. He's going to pull away another 15-20 metres from the chasing Fischer and Wolf, but the crowd here, although they would have loved to have seen a German victory, they applaud Poiré nonetheless. They're very, very appreciative of his talents. Remember, he took 3 golds here at the World Championships last year.
The two Germans are working together here, Patrick, to try and smash Oleana Bjørndalen, break him on the final hill, but these two are now on their limit. I think they've broken Bjørndalen.
That's good skiing. Very, very good skiing. Bjørndalen still 6 seconds behind the two Germans, and in fact he was a lot closer than that just a minute or so ago, so it hasn't worked for Bjørndalen, and I wonder how much there are a couple of factors. One, it could be that he always tends to go fast at the beginning and slows as the race gets on and as he tired. Could also be something to do with the skis, because with these dirty tracks in Oberhöf, it's very, very difficult to keep the skis running nicely all the time. Poiré with enough time to look over his shoulder. He's seen the situation. He knows exactly what he's got to do now. He'll keep a careful eye on the screen just to make sure that Fischer's not gaining too much ground. This is all about winning. It doesn't matter about the time. Another victory for Poiré, his second for the season, but he will extend his lead at the top of the World Cup standings. He is very, very special indeed, but he knows it, and what a run, what a run.
Poiré, absolutely brilliant. Sven Fischer wanted that just a little bit more than Wolf, but 14th to 3rd. Great day for the young Wolf.
Wolf delighted with that run, and what a battle he had with Sven Fischer. He made a mistake. He went too hard at the beginning of that loop. He really should have just tucked in behind the big man and got sucked up, and then had a go at overtaking him in the last 150 metres. I think that would have given him a better chance. But he'll have learnt his lesson. He'll watch the video again tonight. Bjørndalen, 14 seconds down off the lead. He started 35 behind the leader today, so he's made ground but lost places.
6 penalties for Bjørndalen, far too much, but probably the fastest ski time.
Kjelland, 39.9 down, so Norway, having started 2, 3, 4 and 5, have just got 4 and 5 off the podium. I don't think they were expecting that. The Germans, what a run of success they've had. Wolf, Fischer, Gross, Grice, all in the top 7. Outstanding stuff. Lars Berger, another man. How many mistakes did we have from the great Lars today?
We had many mistakes. Just to confirm, it's
9 penalties added, almost 1.5 kilometres extra, and he still got himself into the top 8 position. Simon of Switzerland, superb run, and Bjorn Ferry keeps the Swedish biathletes on the map. Fabulous run from him. Latvia, represented by Ilmar British, some time behind, but 11th place will keep him happy, as will 12th keep Bilanenko happy. Gredler, Eckhoff, Konovalov. Not a good run from Stian Eckhoff today. Mike started in 7th position, drops down to 14th. Nikolai Krugloff starting to fade. He was outstanding at the beginning of the season. Had the yellow bib for the first race in Oslo, but Krugloff tiring maybe.
I think he might well be. His lack of experience possibly already showing at this fairly early stage of the season. But Simon from Switzerland, Matthias Simon, that is a great result, up into 9th place.
Halvard Hannevold down in 22nd, and Hannevold just making 2 mistakes. He started 33, so he's made 11 places, 2 minutes 10 off the lead. Wow. Well, there's the Fischer fan club, and I think it will have doubled today. Nielsen of Sweden, well, we've seen plenty of climbers. He's one who's gone the other way. Down in 27th, having started the day in 8th position. But I think he'll still be delighted with his run on Friday. Got his first ever top 10 result on Friday in the men's sprint. So the Swedish belief will start to increase. So things starting to settle in the stadium. 1 or 2 anxious moments for the German crowd. I think they'll be happy with the way things have gone. They wanted the win, but they got second and third. That's pretty impressive, but it was none other than Raphael Poiré, whose tactics were so much better than any of the Norwegians.
Poiré is the master. He came second, remember, last year at the World Champs, but he put that right today. Maritz for Slovenia just come in there. Just looking further down, 2 Swiss athletes in the top 30. Svalin finished in 30th place. They really are moving up the rankings, the Swiss team. Frode.
33rd position for Frode Andersen, having started in second. The bad news is that he missed 13 of the 20 targets. He started Friday's race in a very, very, very happy mood. His first race, having returned from Norway, his girlfriend Andreasen, of course, who was on the tour last year, just given birth to their first child, and he was in very jovial, relaxed mood for that sprint on Friday night, and no one was expecting anything, but he put in an astonishing performance to come in second. Today he's right up the front, he's got lots of eyes watching him, and he's completely fallen apart.
It's all to do with the mind, I think. If when you shoot the perfect score 2 days ago and you come in today and miss 13, there's a little bit of self-pressure, I think. Instead of just relaxing, going into the normal routine, you're beginning to think and try to make it happen, put pressure upon yourself. It really doesn't work in shooting. Chezarov has moved a long way up, the last to start today. He's moved all the way up to 35th place for the young Russian, missing 3 penalties. One of the biggest movers today. Bjorn Dahlen will be furious left of the screen there. He does not like missing 4 in any one visit, especially in the standing.
Bearing that in mind, he's done exceptionally well to finish in 4th position, just 14 seconds off those leaders. 6 penalty loops.
Drachev giving a bow. I really thought Drachev was going to go well today. He is skiing a lot faster, but let's just check. He must have missed about 9 or 10 targets. Actually, he didn't. He only missed 5, so he's not skiing that well today. 2 days ago, he had a fantastic ski time.
I think maybe just easing it down on that last loop once he realised that there were no World Cup points coming his way, but plenty coming the way of Raphael Poiré. He's picked up 50 and extends his lead over Sven Fischer at the top of the table, but I think he would have been happy if Fischer had been down in 7th, 8th place. Fischer still in with a chance of claiming the title this year, but he's going to have to keep this run of form going. Just cast your eye over the rest of the results. Top 30, remember, all getting World Cup points, and only the top 60 from Friday's pursuit qualifying for this event. And the good news is that's not all we've got in store today, because the women's pursuit coming up in just over an hour's time, and that's going to be another fascinating battle between the best in the world. Poiré on the day, too good for the rest of the field. He started steady, never panicked. The penultimate loop, probably the key to his success, where he just tucked in behind Sven Fischer, didn't try and gain any time, and then just stayed calm on that final shoot. And he says, I am number 1, although he's wearing number 6. I think he forgot forgot that for a second. So Poiré ends up on top. This is the only individual race that he didn't claim in the World Championships. He's put it to rights today. Sven Fischer, Mike.
Well paced throughout. He started nice and slow in control, but didn't quite have the ski speed at the end there to match Poiré. Did one more penalty than Poiré, and fought through to pass Wolf. Here we are, just passing him in the final 250 metres. Alexander Wolf absolutely delighted with his run
in today's race. Just remember, he started down in 14th position. He only missed a total of 2 targets. He went clean on the first 2 prones. That's what made him believe he could do well. This was his only mistake, blasting past Sven Fischer. He was to pay the price for that little bit of overindulgence, and Fischer in the end coming through to claim second. Wolf struggling in, very, very painful run, but he held off Ole Einar Bjorndalen, and that is why he was rejoicing at the end of the race. So, great race, great finish, but not perhaps the one that this crowd wanted. But they were delighted to see Fischer and Wolf both on the podium, and then they only have to look down a 6th to see Rico Gross, Mickey Grice in 7th. So 4 Germans in the top 7 of this men's pursuit. It was the Norwegians that dominated on Friday. A little bit of a turnaround today.
Well, Daniel Graf looking pained there. That's the pain of missing targets.
Ole Einar Bjorndalen, 4th today. Sharp right-hand turn playing its part in this event again. It's such an attraction on this course. I think they should throw a left-hander in as well.
Immediately after that right-hander. Pressure we saw on the shooting mat there. Everyone's lined up side by side. Huge noise from all these spectators behind you. You can't avoid but to hear it.